So throughout the last year, especially during COVID lockdown, I've been doing a lot more traditional Asiatic archery, and had a few people ask about the quiver that I've been using. I bought this quiver last year for the exact reason of getting more into Asiatic archery. This quiver is made by Jiří Sulak from the Czech Republic. He runs his own website, Tengri Bows, and he often posts his designs and creations on ATAR Marketplace on Facebook. So I thought I'd do a quick review of this quiver, just to go through how it works for those who've been curious. And maybe if you're interested, you might want to order your own. A quick note about Tengri Bows and Jiří. So like I said before, Jiří Sulak is a horse archer from the Czech Republic, and Tengri Bows is more of a gallery and less of a shop, so he has a lot of items on his website, but to buy you have to contact him through the website. I don't think he names his quivers. I think he tends to design these based on what feels good, and he makes improvements. And he often posts what he has on ATAR on Facebook to sell. So that was my first point of contact for Jiří, was to go through ATAR Marketplace or contact him through Facebook. You can contact him through his website. Like I said though, he doesn't really name these designs, so you kind of have to point out what you're looking for, and he'll offer you what he has. Or if you want to make something custom made, then you can ask him to make one. So if you want this particular quiver, I don't know, show him this picture or this video and say I want that one. Otherwise, just talk to him and he'll arrange something that's just right for you. So let's talk about this particular quiver. As you can see, it is a very simple design. Like you think quivers are really fancy and you chuck a lot of arrows in them, but it's actually quite a simple design. When you're holding it in my hand, it's just a piece of cow leather, but it is a really well made piece of cow leather. I think Jiří has put a lot of thought into how a quiver is meant to work, because of course he's a very experienced archer. What sets this one apart is that it does have compartmentalized pockets for each of the arrows. There are 18 total slots, so there are 9 on the bottom and 9 on the top, which you can just see behind here. And each pocket is hand sewn. Now, you might be wondering, why have separate pockets for each arrow? This isn't a big deal for most people, and most quivers are designed with one single compartment like this. This is a Turkish pattern quiver. By the way, shout out to the Archery Essential crew down in Melbourne. They gave this to me as a souvenir. So thanks to AA, great club down in eastern Melbourne. If you're in Melbourne, you want to learn traditional Ottoman archery, they are the group to go to. So this is a soft leather version of that, made in Malaysia, and it works fine. It's very easy to use. You dump your arrows in and you're ready to go. If there's any potential problems, again, this isn't a problem for most people, but if you're trying to shoot quickly and instinctively and you grab arrows, you might find that with the arrows all in one compartment, you might not have enough separation for each arrow. So you might grab the wrong shaft, or you might grab two by accident. Again, not a big deal, but sometimes the movement of arrows can make it a little hard to grab specific ones. Now, I've noticed with quiver designs made by people who are a bit more specialized and custom made for their purposes, especially horse archery, they'll separate the arrows, which gives a noticeable difference in how easy it is to grab individual arrows. So you can easily handpick individual arrows by feel without having them move around or cluttering your hand. So it does feel noticeable. Again, would you actually need it? Well, it depends on what you need it for, but I did find it's very easy to use. On the same note, the pockets are quite shallow, so you don't need a lot of effort to pull them out. So rather than have to struggle through a whole quiver and get stuck in the quiver, I find that these shallow pockets are very easy to remove arrows from. Both the inside and outside pockets are just as shallow, so I can pull this one out with minimal effort. And again, this one over here, you can see that's the length it has on the quiver there. So that comes out really easily. Same thing here, a little deeper because it is the inside pocket, but it comes out pretty easily. Now, the quiver doesn't come with a belt, so you have to use your own belt. That's not a problem, of course. The belt loops are riveted. That said, the back one I noticed had the rivet come off, so hopefully Jiří improved this by having more glue or stronger rivet. So I've attached it temporarily with this plastic strip, so it's a little weird. There is some adjustment you can have depending on the angle you want. You can loop the belt through the top loops. That gives a kind of a different angle to your body. I actually personally use the inside of the loop here. I'm not sure that's how you're meant to do it, but I find it gives me a close position of my body and a better angle to work from. But that's how I use it. You can do it either way. There is some adjustment depending on what you're comfortable with. So here I've got the quiver fully loaded with 18 arrows. 9 bottom and 9 on top. There's nice pairing between each one, so the top 2 go 1 and then 2, and then you go 1 and 2 and so on. So pretty straightforward to use, and like we mentioned before, really easy to pull out. So this is what the quiver looks like when you wear it, and I gotta say, first impressions would be, it looks awesome. When people see this and see all the arrows separated, it does look amazing, and of course it's highly practical, with each arrow being easy to reach and pull out, both the bottom row and the top row. So it's been an amazing experience to use this in practice. I'm wearing a little higher. Again, I'm using the other belt loop, so it's close to my hip and body, so there's less movement. You can drop it a bit lower, so I guess if you're riding or you need a bit more leeway in your quiver movement, then you can make it a little lower, but I've worn a little high just for my purposes. I find very comfortable with this. And loading it is also very straightforward. You just reach behind and load. Unfortunately, it does take a bit of time loading individual pockets, but that's part of the package. If you're using this kind of quiver, it's not a big deal. You get used to it after a while anyway. So that's our quiver. So here I've got a slightly different angle. Obviously I'm focusing on the quiver rather than myself. It does look really cool, as you can see. So back view, side view, it does look really cool when you walk around on the range with this quiver. So if you're looking for cool factor, this definitely has it. But of course it's very functional as well. So we'll be doing a few shots with this to show you how easy it is to use. I'll be using a Kea KTB, which I believe was customized by Tengri Bows. So they don't make the bow, it is a Korean bow made by Kea, but they do customize things like the tips, the ray skin and shark skin and so on. So it looks different to a typical KTB because it's been personalized. Anyway, let's have a few shots. There we go, empty. And then loading the quiver, I find I have to adjust it just a bit to see when I'm loading, but again, it's not as quick as dumping arrows because it's separate pockets, but you get used to it. There's a lot of downtime between shots, so you can always fill in the quiver. And of course, you don't have to shoot all 18, you know, like if you're shooting like 6, that's fine, or like 5 or 9, that's fine. But of course I've got 18, I'm dumping all 18 at once. Bit of a endurance challenge, which is pretty fun. And then we'll unlock I'll load the bottom row. There we go. Wasn't that bad, was it? And I was saying before that part of what makes this work so well is that you can just instinctively reach for the arrows, not find where they are. So I shot 18 consecutive without looking. I was grabbing one and one and one and one and one. It felt so natural to use. So I'm really sold on the divisions of the arrows and the comfort of the quiver. Let's do one more end. Again, I'm not going to go as fast as I can. I'm just going to shoot, at a relaxed pace. Kind of adjust things to go along. Got a torn fletching here, that'll be a bit annoying. But let's have a bit of a shot. Okay, grab the arrow, very natural motion. Next arrow, I don't always grab in order, but I can easily find individual arrows. That's my point there. There we go. That wasn't too bad. So just missing one of the points there. That's fine. So there we go. The shooting might be kind of subpar. I feel the bow's not really tuned for these arrows, so might be a little loud, a bit of a contact. But otherwise, the quiver, of course, is what I'm looking at. Quiver, absolutely beautiful. You can see very natural movement to pull out there. Very swift and easy to use. Very little fumbling. It's mostly me rather than the quiver. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this quiver. Works really well, very comfortable to use, and really cool looking as well. So that's my look at this particular side quiver from Tengri Archery by Yuri Sulak. I should really mention that the price is really affordable. Handmade and sent to me in Australia. I pay, I think, $135 US, and that's, for any quiver, a very, very good price, let alone a handmade, custom-made one. So I thought the value was already an extremely good price, and let alone the function of it is really good as well. So, yep, I've been using it for the last year. It's been amazing. It's been an integral part of my traditional archery. Definitely worth supporting Tengri Archery. I bought it myself and I was really happy with it. So again, if you're interested in this particular quiver, I don't know, point to this quiver and tell Yuri you want this and he'll make it for you, hopefully. But anyway, hope you found it interesting and enjoyed that. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.